The supermarket was nearly empty that rainy evening, the fluorescent lights flickering faintly above the aisles. Mia clutched her worn-out wallet, her fingers trembling as she counted the few coins left in her hand. Every sound, the clink of metal, the hum of the refrigerators, the distant beeping of a cashier's scanner, seemed amplified by her hunger, exhaustion, and the weight of her worries. Her baby, Noah, only 6 months old, whimpered softly in the stroller. His cheeks were pale, his tiny fists clenched in discomfort. He hadn't had a proper meal since morning, only the last drops of formula she'd stretched as far as possible. Mia looked down at the small can of baby formula on the shelf. $8.99. Her coins barely made $740. She closed her eyes, whispering a silent prayer. "Please, just let this be enough." Mia approached the counter, heart pounding. The cashier, a young man with tired eyes, scanned the formula. "That'll be $8.99. Her stomach twisted. "Can you maybe check if it's on sale?" she asked, forcing a small smile. The cashier scanned again. "Sorry, it's not." Mia bit her lip, her voice cracking. "Can I give $740? I'll come back tomorrow with the rest, I promise." The cashier looked uneasy. "Store policy." He shook his head apologetically. "I'm really sorry, ma'am. I can't." Mia stared at the can of formula on the counter, her eyes filling with tears. For a moment the world blurred. Noah whimpered again, and she quickly wiped her face. She turned away, ready to put the formula back, when a deep voice behind her said gently, "Wait." Mia froze. The man behind her in line was tall, dressed in a dark suit that screamed wealth. His expression was calm but serious, his blue eyes studying her with concern. He handed his card to the cashier. "Add that to my bill." She turned to protest. "No, please, you don't have to." He raised a hand slightly. "It's fine. A baby shouldn't go hungry." The cashier swiped the card and handed her the bag. Mia clutched it like it was gold, her voice trembling. "Thank you, sir." "You don't know what this means." The man nodded slightly but didn't smile. "I think I do," he said quietly, his gaze lingering on Noah. "You should take care of yourself too." Mia nodded quickly, embarrassed. She hurried out into the rain, pushing the stroller with one hand and clutching the bag with the other. The man watched her leave through the glass doors. Something about her trembling voice, her tired eyes, her determination, stirred something in him. His name was Ethan Reynolds, CEO of Reynolds Enterprises, one of the largest retail companies in the city. He was used to people fawning over him, to employees pretending to care. But that woman, she hadn't recognized him. And for once, he didn't feel like the CEO. He felt like a man who'd just seen someone truly fighting to survive. The next morning, Mia arrived at a small apartment building on the edge of the city. The place was old, with peeling paint and a flickering hallway light. She worked there part-time as a cleaner. She had to after her husband left when Noah was only 2 months old, leaving her with debt and a note that read, "You'll be better off without me." She started cleaning the top floor first, her arms aching, but she pushed through. Every dollar mattered. Around noon, her supervisor walked in. "Mia, there's a new office we've been contracted to clean. Big company, Reynolds Enterprises. You're careful and reliable, so I'm assigning you there starting tomorrow." Mia nodded, not knowing that fate had just brought her back to the man who helped her. The next day, Mia stood in the marble lobby of Reynolds Enterprises. Wearing her plain uniform and holding her cleaning supplies, she looked around in awe. Glass walls, gold accents, people in designer suits. It was a different world. She began her work quietly, cleaning floors and wiping desks. Most people ignored her, some even walking around her as if she were invisible. But she didn't mind. She just wanted to finish her shift and get back to Noah. By evening, she entered the top floor, the CEO's office. She knocked gently and heard a voice say, "Come in." Her heart skipped. The door opened and her breath caught. It was him. Ethan looked up from his computer, frowning slightly before recognition flashed across his face. "You're the woman from the supermarket." Mia froze, mortified. "Oh, yes, sir. I didn't know this was your office. I'm sorry, I'll just..." He stood. "No, it's fine." He smiled faintly. "You're working here now?" She nodded shyly. "Yes, sir. Just part-time cleaning." He hesitated, then said, "Please sit for a moment." She blinked. "Sir, I shouldn't..." "Please," he insisted gently. She sat, gripping her cleaning cloth nervously. Ethan leaned back, studying her. "You looked terrified that night. Why didn't you tell me what was going on?" Mia looked down at her hands. Because it's not your problem, sir. Everyone has their own battles. I just didn't want to beg. There was silence. Then Ethan said softly, "Sometimes asking for help isn't begging. It's surviving." Her eyes filled with tears, but she quickly wiped them. "I'm surviving the only way I know how." He admired her strength. Most people in his world hid behind power and money. She had nothing, but she had dignity. "Do you have childcare?" he asked. "I leave Noah with Mrs. Thompson, my neighbor. She's kind enough to watch him for a few hours while I work," Mia replied. He nodded slowly. "Would you consider working here full-time? We need someone to manage the cleaning staff. It would pay much better." Mia's mouth fell open. "Sir, I don't think I'm qualified. You're smart and hardworking." "That's qualification enough," he said. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "Thank you. I won't let you down." Ethan smiled softly. "I know you won't." Weeks passed and Mia's life slowly began to change. The new job paid enough for her to move to a better apartment and buy proper clothes for Noah. She was still humble, still kind, and Ethan noticed how her presence brightened the office. One afternoon, as she was organizing supplies, Ethan stopped by. "How's Noah?" Her face lit up instantly. "He's doing better. Healthy and smiling all the time now," he smiled. "I'm glad." They talked often after that, sometimes about work, sometimes about life. Ethan learned that Mia once dreamed of studying business but dropped out when she got pregnant. He was impressed by her intelligence and humility. One evening, after most employees had left, Ethan found her sitting in the break room, exhausted. "You should go home," he said gently. "I'm just finishing the reports," she murmured. "You trusted me with this position. I can't slack off." He smiled. "You remind me of someone." "Who?" she asked. "My mother," he said quietly. "She worked 3 jobs to raise me after my father left. I swore I'd make her proud." Mia's eyes softened. "Then you already have." Their eyes met, and for a brief moment time stopped. Months later, during a company charity gala, Ethan gave a speech about perseverance. Then he looked toward Mia, sitting near the back, and said, "Some of the greatest strength I've seen doesn't come from power or wealth. It comes from those who have nothing and still give everything." After the event, Mia approached him, her eyes shining. "You were talking about me, weren't you?" He chuckled. "Maybe," she smiled shyly. "You changed my life, Ethan." He shook his head. "No, Mia, you changed your own life. I just gave you a nudge." But even as he said it, he knew she had changed him too. She reminded him of the humanity he'd lost in the corporate world. One evening, as Mia prepared to leave, Ethan stopped her at the door. "Mia, there's something I've been meaning to ask." She looked at him curiously. "What is it?" He hesitated, his voice soft. "Would you let me take you and Noah to dinner this weekend? Just as friends?" Her heart skipped a beat, but she smiled warmly. "We'd love that." And for the first time in years, Ethan's face broke into a genuine smile. That Saturday, under the soft glow of a small restaurant's lights, Noah giggled as Ethan made silly faces across the table. Mia laughed, feeling warmth she hadn't felt in years. As they walked out, rain began to fall again, just like the night they met. Ethan held his jacket over her and the baby. "Seems rain likes us," he joked. Mia smiled. "Maybe it's a reminder." "Of what?" he asked. "That sometimes, even in the storm, someone unexpected shows up with an umbrella," she said softly. Ethan looked at her for a long moment. "Mia, I'm glad I was behind you that day." And as they walked into the night, the rain falling gently around them, both knew their lives had changed forever. Not because of pity or charity, but because 2 hearts from different worlds had found kindness in each other.